Yes. Everybody, Russ and the West End Network, hope you're safe and well. Bin day in the Budden household, absolute scenes. When's your bin day? Let me know in the comments below. Thankfully, we're over all that craziness for Christmas in terms of the bin day changing. We're okay until Easter. But what we're not okay with is no signings. I get so angry, I move my TV. We're about 5-6 days away from the transfer window slamming shut. Be careful because you don't want to slam a window shut anyway. But and nothing's happened. We've been linked to over 60 players so far, it seems, and not a dicky bird has turned up at Rush Green. Not a single social media post. That's that annoying one, the one they do about 2 minutes before they sign someone, where it's like that. None of them at all. But we continue to be linked with players. And we'll talk about two that we've been linked with today. Yesterday we talked about Raspadori and Rodrigo de Paul and Evan Ferguson, which doesn't seem to be going away too often. But in all honesty, I think he's going to go to Bayer Leverkusen. By the sounds of it, they just sold Victor Boniface to the Saudi Pro League for about 50 million. Although I swear he bid like 47 in the summer last year. Anyway, so they've got money on the hip in terms of Bayer Leverkusen, and looks like they're signing James McAtee as well. So a couple of Premier League players over there. I wouldn't be surprised. But we apparently, according to Tuta Mercato Web, have made a formal inquiry. Have lodged a formal inquiry, to use the right terminology, for the Juventus midfielder Nicolo Fagioli. Now, someone we've spoken about quite a lot on the channel. Very early on in the transfer window hubbub, he was linked. Then he went quiet. Then we're looking at Banzuzi and people like that. And obviously, seems to have come back full circle. Now, he hasn't had his... he hasn't gone throughout his time without problems. The 23-year-old midfielder, he was banned for 7 months in October 2023 after being found guilty of gambling. But he seems to put that all behind him. 22 appearances for Juventus in all competitions this year. Can operate as a deep line midfielder role further forward, but it's best. His best position is more of a sort of box-to-box, energetic. The type of player we need, in all honesty. Now, we've lodged an official inquiry. Now, obviously, Juventus are a bit of an interesting kettle of fish at the moment. They are, if we're led to be believed, trying to pursue a deal for Jean-Claude Todibo, despite the fact we don't actually own him yet. He's still on loan, technically, and we don't hit that 30 million price tag with Nice until we officially are safe in the Premier League. So, yes, so there's probably been some open dialogue with Juventus, and we need someone like him in our midfield. In all honesty, for me, it's probably a third priority in terms of positions. I know we need a striker, but for me, it's that defence. If we can get another defender, another centre half that ties up that centre, makes it trickier to score. If we're not conceding 2 goals on average and conceding, clean sheets on the odd goal, it makes our attackers so much easier. They only have to score 1 goal to win a game rather than 2 goals just to draw if we're averaging 2 goals. So I'm slightly concerned that we haven't actually been linked with anyone. We've had links, Adam Webster, we spoke at Jack Taylor, the young lad from Sutton United. Yeah, they're not really going to change the dial. Maybe someone like Adam Webster could well do, in my opinion. I think, our defence has been crap since Craig Dawson left. And where everyone thought, it's, the players with him are making him play better. Clearly, I think it was the other way around. He was making the likes of Nair Figuered, Ogbonna, Kurt Zuma play better because they're playing alongside him. Interesting about Aged, obviously Real Sociedad are having real trouble because as part of the agreement for the loan deal, they deliberately didn't want an obligation to buy, but now they really want to buy him because he's performing really well. So I'd love him back at West Ham, to be honest. I think he'd really benefit from the Potter era. But will Nicolas Fagioli be in the claret and blue in a week's time? I can't see it personally. Not that I don't want him, but we're 29 days into the transfer window and we haven't got anyone. So are we going to really probably spend? We'd probably have to buy him, I think. I don't know. But another player we've been linked with, as well as Everton, this was in the Daily Mail, was the Galatasaray defender Elias Gellot. Us, Everton, and Ipswich Town are apparently all being touted as suitors for the 21-year-old defender. He completed a £7.5 million move from Copenhagen to Galatasaray in the summer. He's been capped by Denmark twice, and in all honesty, has struggled to replicate the form he showed for Copenhagen, where he was an integral figure, making 26 appearances. Now, I don't really get this one. One interesting sort of factoid about him is although he's technically a right back, he's got all the attributes to be a very good right wing back. But is he high on? Is that high on our priority list in terms of a player? I don't think so at the moment. I think we've got enough players who can play that position. You know, Crescentia Somerville's been playing there as well. Obviously for the Aston Villa game before he pulled his hammy. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka's been playing there. If he dipped to the academy, someone like Julia Robinson could play there. Mika Adieli potentially could play there as well. I'd rather spend money elsewhere. Although, again, you can see the MO of the types of play. We don't mind getting a player who's dipped in form. Brian Brobby, for example. You know, this season he's dipped in form. Last season he was very, very good. Dipped in form. So therefore, the club, you know, the valuation of him isn't as great as it was 12 months ago. And that's the same here. You know, he signed for £7.5 million. Very good for Copenhagen, not so good for Galatasaray. Sometimes it's the wrong club. You know, we've had how many situations have we had as West Ham fans where the player isn't the right player for West Ham? Quite often than not. I just don't think it's a priority at the moment. I see us being linked with all these types of players. For me, there's three priorities: centre half, centre midfield, and centre forward. All the centres. Are we likely to get someone in? Evan Ferguson's still sniffing around. Brian Brobby, we've been told. I mean, according to Sean on Twitter, it looks Sean Wheaton. It could be less than 10% chance of him signing, which again, he was due to. He was flying out for a medical last week, weren't he? Apparently, I think Gary did it quite funny on the Bobby Moore. On the Bobby Moore stand on his Twitter, he went, you know, we 28 days pissing around. It was yesterday, 28 days pissing around, and then we end up with a 29-year-old Andre Silva on a 6-month loan. It's starting to feel like that, isn't it? It's starting to feel like that. Also, we've been linked to the likes of Chelly Chigueda from Chelsea. Again, a very good player. It could really do a job in terms of what we need, in terms of that energy, that creativity, that athleticism, that dynamism. Something we're crying out for in the midfield. I still think it's probably the third priority in terms of what we need to address. I mean, I know people say we want a striker, We've wanted a striker for 20 years. For me, it's about getting this defence tight. You know, how many times, and again, I'm just going to say a bad word, David Moyes. On the David Moyes era, how many times did we nick a game 1-0, particularly during lockdown? You know, kept a clean sheet, nicked a goal. That's pretty much West Ham's MO in terms of how we should be looking at taking on teams, keeping it tight. And then we've got particularly, you know, I think we're going to welcome back Bowen soon. We're going to welcome back Crescentia Somerville soon. I thought Paqueta played very well as a false nine. We've got Kudus. We've got a lot of pace, a lot of power there, a lot of speed. Yes, a forward would be nice. A target man would be nice. I mean, I would, you know, my ideal would be Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord, but it does seem that he's off to AC Milan, which is, I think he would have been brilliant for us. I really would, in terms of that sort of Potter style. But that's me, the king of wishful thinking. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. Not only what's your bin day, but what position do you want to prioritize? What position? If we slam the window shut today, one position you want us to look at, you want us to fulfill. I really think that sort of for me, he's centre half, and it's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but I just think if we shore up that defence, we'll get another 5-6 points just by keeping clean sheets. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's enough for me warbling on. If you're new in here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Anton and Holly, I think, will be back later on. And yeah, planning a nice weekend ahead with no West Ham to ruin it. I hope you're doing that too. Anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and I'll see you guys very, very, very soon. Much love. Bye-bye.